Hello and welcome to this view from the ADB. I'm Kimberley Long, Asia Rutherford the banker, and I'm speaking with Dinesh Khara, who is chairman of State Bank of India Group. Dinesh, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Kimberley. It's a pleasure meeting you today.
To begin with, I wanted to ask around, there's been a lot of bank failures globally. How are they impacting on the Indian economy?
I think as far as Indian economy is concerned, it is quite insulated from the bank failures which we have witnessed in US. The reason behind is that when it comes to liabilities, they are quite diversified and they are very retail liabilities which we have in the country. And apart from that, the regulatory system is quite strong and it is subject to oversight. All the banks are subject to oversight by the regulatory system. So I think that has ensured that there should be adequate asset liability discipline with the banks. And apart from that, when it comes to even assets also, the exposure ceilings are very well defined. So that also ensures that we don't have overexposure to a particular sector. So I think both in assets and liabilities, they are quite very well diversified. And that is one of the reasons why Indian banking system is quite strong and it has stayed insulated from the global turmoil which we have witnessed in the US and also what we witness in Swiss also.
And how is the Indian economy at this time performing overall?
I would say that it is overall it's doing pretty well as compared to the rest of the economies of similar size across the globe. We are witnessing a very strong growth. It is almost about 7% growth which we have seen in the financial year 22-23. Demand is fairly strong. There is an adequate focus on infrastructure creation. Government is encouraging for infrastructure creation. They are actually leading from the front. What we have witnessed in last about a year or so, there is a adequate interest shown by even the private sector investors also. So I think what we have observed is that the multiplier effect of the infrastructure investment is almost 4 times higher, and that is leading to a very robust retail demand. And what we observe is that practically all the segments of the economy are doing pretty well. So I would say that Indian economy is very well placed and is on the right track.
And the bank is currently looking to raise $2 billion in financing. What is this financing going to be used for and how is it going to be raised?
As a bank, we are almost about 675 billion bank, and almost about 12 to 15% of our balance sheet is overseas. We have got presence in 29 countries, and almost about 60 billion is the kind of a balance sheet which we have in the overseas jurisdiction. We normally fund our international balance sheet by such borrowings, and that is one of the reasons why we have gone for borrowing about $2 billion this year, out of which 750 million we have already raised, and it has been raised at a very fine price. So I think we have seen that there is enough appetite for the Indian paper, and we would be raising these instruments at the right and opportune time in the current financial year, depending upon our outlay in these geographies.
And finally, we've seen at the ADB conference this week, there is such a strong focus on ESG now and how important that is in the banking sector. How important is ESG for the bank?
It's very important, and in fact, the Indian government is also laying down a lot of emphasis for encouraging the renewables. And we have a current capacity, as far as the renewable sector is concerned, we have a current capacity of about 166 gigawatt. We intend to scale it up to about 400 gigawatt plus, and out of which about 280 gigawatt is going to come in from the solar power, and about 100 odd gigawatt will come from the wind power. So that way there is a very clear focus, and there is a ample emphasis as far as the corporates are concerned for adoption of ESG. And as a major lender in the economy, we have got about 20% market share in the Indian economy, and we are having a very elaborate structure for evaluation of ESG compliance status of our corporates, and we are nudging them for adoption of the ESG. Apart from that, we observe that when it comes to mobility also, personal mobility in the country, last year the country has seen the EV sales have almost about 1 million vehicles got sold in a year. So there is a lot of emphasis for adoption of EV. Even for the public mobility also, the buses are being converted to the EV buses are now being adopted by various state governments and with various government agencies also. So I would say that practically it's a very broad-based initiative, right from generation to adoption. There is a whole lot of ecosystem which has got created. I think EV as an industry and the battery storage is another very important growth lever. We are focusing on manufacturing of solar panels, solar cells. So I think the whole economy is now rotating around the ESG and the EV adoption and also the renewable energy as one of the major focus area.
Dinesh, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kimberley. Nice meeting you.